What if everything you thought you knew about the MCU's grand plan was a lie? What if the big bad you were told to fear, the great multiversal conqueror, was nothing more than a prelude? A noisy, chaotic distraction meant to keep your eyes on the horizon, while the real apocalypse was festering in the shadows, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. We've all been watching the Multiverse saga unfold, seeing Kang and his infinite variants pop up. We saw the chaos they could cause, the timelines they could break. We were told Avengers Doomsday was supposed to be their big moment. But what if Doomsday isn't about Kang at all? What if it's about the man who makes conquerors look like children throwing tantrums? A man whose ambition isn't just to rule reality, but to become it. This is a speculative deep dive into a theory that pieces together clues from the comics and hints from the MCU. It's a theory that doesn't just guess the next phase of the MCU, but changes how you see everything that came before it. This is the story of how Dr. Doom doesn't just enter the war for the multiverse, but ends it. How he single-handedly dismantles the Council of Kangs, breaks the will of a god, and builds a terrifying new reality from the ashes. For now, this is all a what-if scenario, but the idea is so chillingly perfect, it feels less like a fan theory and more like an inevitability. So what if Kang the Conqueror, in all his warring variations, was never the final boss? What if he was just the opening act for a villain who wants to own the very idea of reality itself? The stage is set. Loki sits on his lonely throne at the end of time, the living loom holding all of existence together. The Council of Kangs, a fractured mess of egos, is gearing up for a war they think they're destined to win. The Avengers are scattered, the world is vulnerable, and the multiverse is an untamed mess. Everyone's looking for the next Kang to show up, but they're all looking in the wrong direction. The real threat isn't coming from another timeline. He's been here all along, watching, waiting, and judging them all as unworthy. To understand the disaster that's coming, you have to understand the man behind it, Victor Von Doom. The name alone tells you everything you need to know. He's not some cosmic accident like Thanos, or a time anomaly like Kang. He's a self-made monster, forged from tragedy, genius, and a will so strong it refuses to bend to any power but his own. While the heroes were learning to use their powers, Doom was mastering things they couldn't even imagine. He's a genius who goes toe-to-toe with Reed Richards, a scientist who can build time machines and armor that can take a punch from a god. But science is just where Doom gets started. He dove into magic with that same obsessive energy, learning from ancient sorcerers and mastering spells that would give Doctor Strange nightmares. In the comics, his magic is so powerful, he's often considered a candidate for Sorcerer Supreme. Think about that for a second. A man who understands the quantum physics of reality and has the magic to rewrite it. Kang uses tech to conquer timelines. Doom could unmake time with a single word. His motivation isn't simple greed. At his core, Doom believes humanity is flawed, chaotic, and doomed to destroy itself. He sees the endless wars, the short-sighted heroes, the bickering gods, and he's disgusted. In his mind, the only way to get true peace is under his absolute control. He doesn't want to destroy the world, he wants to save it from itself. In his story, he's the hero, a savior in an iron mask. From his country of Latveria, a high-tech nation under his iron fist, he has watched everything. He watched Thanos collect the stones. He watched the Avengers break time to fix the snap. And he's been watching the Kangs make a total mess of his multiverse. He sees their infighting, their arrogance, and he sees an opportunity, a cancer that needs to be cut out. A lesser man would prepare for war. Dr. Doom prepares for an execution. Dr. Doom's arrival wouldn't be some post-credit scene tease. It would be an event that completely redefines power in the MCU. This theory suggests that Avengers Doomsday opens with an act so terrifyingly bold, it makes the entire Kang saga feel pointless in an instant. Picture Chronopolis, the city outside of time, the heart of the Kang Empire. We see them all, thousands of variants, the supposed ultimate threat. They're arguing, posturing, each one convinced he's the best. The exact weakness Doom would exploit. They're so busy with their own drama they don't even notice the air get cold. The sudden heavy silence. Then he appears, alone, Victor Von Doom walks into the center of their power. Not a scratch on him. His iron mask reflecting the panicked faces of 1,000 conquerors. The Kangs do what they always do. They attack with overwhelming force. They unleash every temporal weapon they have. The same arsenal that brought entire timelines to their knees. But against Doom, it's like throwing rocks at a mountain. His armor, a perfect blend of tech and magic, doesn't just block their attacks. It absorbs them, learns from them, and makes them useless. Spells woven into the metal of his suit counter their time tricks, freezing their attacks and turning them back on them. What happens next isn't a fight, it's a takedown. Cold, brutal, and humiliating. Doom moves with the precision of a surgeon, outthinking them at every turn. He uses one Kong's historical knowledge against him, showing him a future where his empire is nothing but dust. He turns another's mastery of time into a prison, trapping him in a single agonizing moment forever. He faces down a dozen battle-hungry Kangs and shatters their weapons with a single blast of mystic energy. He's a ghost they can't touch, and a strategist they can't predict. One by one, the leaders of the council fall, not in some glorious battle, but in pure terror. Doom doesn't gloat. He doesn't monologue. He just executes, his silence more frightening than any threat. The camera would hold on the aftermath. The great council of Kangs, the threat we've been building up for years, reduced to a field of broken tech at the feet of one man. This instantly establishes Doom as a villain on a whole other level, making Thanos look manageable. The age of conquerors is over. The age of Doom has begun. With the Kangs gone, there's a huge power vacuum. But Doom doesn't care about their broken empire. He's aiming higher. To get true order, you can't just conquer timelines. You have to control the loom they're woven on. And sitting at the center of that loom is a lonely, broken god, Loki. At the end of his journey, Loki found his glorious purpose by sacrificing his freedom to hold the multiverse together from a throne at the end of time. He is the living heart of all reality, the god of stories ensuring every timeline can exist. To the heroes, it's a noble sacrifice. To Dr. Doom, it's the ultimate weakness, a single point of failure, a king ready to be checkmated. Doom's journey to the throne isn't a physical fight, it's a trip through the fabric of reality itself. Using his command of science and sorcery, he arrives not as a conqueror, but as an equal. He finds Loki weighed down by the burden of infinity. The showdown that follows is a battle of minds. Doom wouldn't just attack Loki, he'd understand him. He'd talk about Loki's crushing loneliness and his so-called glorious purpose. He'd praise his power, his sacrifice, and then he'd offer him the one thing he secretly wants more than anything, an end to it all. You hold it all together, Doom might say, his voice calm and reasonable. A noble but flawed design. You are a dam holding back a flood, but dams break. It is an agonizing existence. You saved reality, Loki, but you condemned yourself. I offer a better way. Doom would lay out his vision. One single perfect timeline. A universe of pure order, free from the chaos of infinite possibilities and incursions. A reality where Loki no longer has to be a prisoner. The price? All Loki has to do is let go, give Doom control. Loki, of course, would refuse. He'd see the tyranny in Doom's order, but this is where Doom gets truly cruel. It's not a fight of magic, but of will, and Doom's will is absolute. He would break Loki down not with punches, but with logic. He'd show Loki visions of the very futures he's trying to stop. Universes collapsing, heroes failing, chaos everywhere, and frame it all as Loki's inevitable failure. He turned Loki's greatest strength, his connection to all stories, into his greatest weakness, forcing him to experience every moment of pain from every timeline all at once. The weight would be unbearable. When Loki is finally broken, Doom makes his move. He wouldn't kill the god of stories, that's too messy. Instead, using a device of dark magic and impossible science, he'd enslave him. He'd shackle Loki's mind, turning him from the master of timelines into the engine for Doom's new creation. Loki would become Doom's unwilling puppet, forced to use his power to collapse the multiverse into a single reality of Doom's design. The enslavement of Loki is the tipping point. Doom now has the ultimate key to reality. With the God of Stories as his tool, Doom starts the final, horrifying part of his plan, the controlled demolition of the multiverse. This would be the real Doomsday event, a catastrophe that makes the blip look like a minor inconvenience. But this isn't random destruction, it's a harvest. As realities die, Doom, using Loki as his conduit, snatches fragments from the wreckage. A piece of Asgard, a ruined New York, the wastelands from a fallen X-Men timeline. He gathers these broken pieces and starts stitching them together. From the chaos, a new world is born. A single patchwork planet made from the remnants of countless dead realities, all held together by the sheer will of its creator. A world where different laws of physics exist from one patch of land to the next, where displaced heroes and villains from 1,000 stories are now neighbors. This is Battleworld. The name, taken from the iconic 2015 Secret Wars comic, says it all. It's a world born from conflict, made to be ruled by strength. And at its center, on a throne carved from the wreckage of timelines, sits its creator. He's not just Victor Von Doom anymore. He looks out on his new creation, a world saved from the chaos of freedom, and gives himself a new title, God Emperor Doom. The multiverse is dead. Long live Battleworld. Long live Doom. On Battleworld, Doom's rule is absolute. He is the law, the state, and basically God. His face, once hidden behind a mask, might even be healed, a sign that he's overcome his old weaknesses. But even a god needs to make sure his power is secure. The biggest threat would come from magic, and one title still challenges his authority, Sorcerer Supreme, the title held by Dr. Stephen Strange. A showdown would be inevitable. Strange, who might have survived the collapse with his power and knowledge, represents the old way of doing things, the last bit of magic that Doom sees as flawed. He would challenge Doom, not just to save reality, but to defend magic itself. This wouldn't be a simple duel. It would be a battle of ideas. Strange fights to protect, Doom fights to rule. Strange uses magic as a shield, Doom uses it as a hammer, and Doom, having mastered both science and sorcery, would be ready. The fight would echo the recent Blood Hunt comic arc, where Doom cleverly forces Strange to hand over the title of Sorcerer Supreme. In this version, Doom wouldn't just overpower Strange, he would prove his understanding of magic is fundamentally better. He'd pick apart Strange's spells and turn the Eye of Agamotto's power against him. He'd show Strange that his obsession with rules was a weakness holding him back. In a final, humiliating move, Doom wouldn't just take the mantle, he'd have Strange give it to him. He might create a crisis where only the combined power of his science and the Sorcerer Supreme can hold Battleworld together, forcing Strange into an impossible choice. Let everything fall apart, or give the ultimate magical power to a tyrant. Defeated, Strange would concede. And with that, Victor Von Doom becomes Sorcerer Supreme. The Eye of Agamotto, the Cloak of Levitation, it all belongs to him now. He would merge that magical authority with his genius intellect, becoming a being of truly limitless power. He is God Emperor Doom, the undisputed master of all technology, all magic, and all of his new broken reality. Any hope the heroes had of finding a simple magical fix is gone. They're now facing the one true god of their world, and he just took out his only rival. What's a world ruled by God Emperor Doom like? On the surface, it's a paradise. No war because all nations are his. No hunger because resources are managed with cold efficiency. No crime because who would dare? It's perfect order, but it's the sterile, lifeless order of a prison. A world without chaos because it's a world without free will. Battleworld is a patchwork of societies. In one area, you might find a version of Asgard, its people now loyal to Doom. In another, a futuristic city is patrolled by an army of his robots. And enforcing his will across this broken world is a legion of Thors, the Thor Corps, pulled from different timelines. Their loyalty magically switched from Odin to God Emperor Doom. They are his sheriffs, judges, and executioners, swinging their hammers for order, not justice. The surviving heroes are just shadows of their former selves. Some broken might have accepted Doom's rule just to survive. Others are fugitives. Imagine a tired, gritty Captain America, no longer a symbol of a nation, but a whisper of rebellion. A Thor who escaped the Thor Corps, now a lonely wanderer, The Hulk forced to fight in gladiator arenas for Doom's entertainment. This part of the story would be about the psychological toll on these heroes. And they haven't just lost a fight, they've lost everything. Their homes, their histories, their very reason for fighting, all erased or twisted. The hope that once defined them is now a tiny flame struggling to stay lit in the shadow of Doom's castle. This would be the Empire Strikes Back moment for the entire MCU. Doom hasn't just won, he's completely rewritten the rules. He's created a perfect world where being a hero is a crime. The Avengers aren't just beaten, they're irrelevant. The fight is no longer about saving the world because the world has already been saved. The real question now is a life without freedom worth living at all? Even in a perfect cage, the need for freedom always finds a way. Even under a god's watchful eye, rebellion can start with a whisper. The end of this Doomsday story wouldn't be about winning, but about finding the first spark of impossible hope, setting the stage for the real secret wars. The seeds of rebellion would be scattered across Battleworld. Maybe a powerless Doctor Strange finds a tiny flaw in Doom's all-powerful control. Maybe Miles Morales, a hero from a universe that shouldn't even exist, is an anomaly that Doom's system can't process. Proof that reality can't be perfectly controlled. But the biggest threat to Doom would come from the one man who has always been his equal and his obsession. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. While Doom was building his new world, Reed and a few other survivors might have been trapped outside of it, on a life raft in the void, a concept pulled straight from the Secret Wars comics. All through Doom's reign, Reed would have been working and planning. He understands Doom better than anyone. He knows that for all his godlike power, Doom's greatest weakness is his own ego and his obsession with being better than Richards. The climax of Doomsday wouldn't be a big battle, but a signal, a message from Reed's life raft finally breaking through the Battleworld, a simple equation on Doom's monitors, a voice whispering a name only he would recognize. It would be a small thing, but it would be enough to plant a seed of doubt in the God King's mind and show the broken heroes of Battleworld they aren't alone. Reed Richards' arrival would signal the real start of the Secret Wars. It wouldn't be just a fight against a tyrant anymore. It would become a deeply personal war between two of the most brilliant and flawed minds in existence. Doom built a world to prove he was superior. Reed is coming to tear it down to prove that no one, not even a god, has the right to take away the messy, chaotic, and beautiful gift of free will. The end of Doomsday is the start of the true war, a war for the soul of reality itself. And that's the theory, a story where Dr. Doom doesn't just join the game, he flips the whole board. He rises by wiping out the Council of Kangs, then goes after the heart of the multiverse itself by enslaving Loki. From the ashes, he forges his own oppressive world, Battleworld, and cements his power by taking the title of Sorcerer Supreme from Doctor Strange. It's a dark, epic story that would leave the heroes shattered and set the stage for a final, desperate fight in Secret Wars. It's a shocking path, but for a villain like Doom, it feels almost poetic. So what do you think? Is this where the MCU is headed? Could Dr. Doom really pull off such a complete victory and become the God Emperor of a new Marvel universe? Or do you think the Kang storyline will play out differently? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you like this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss our next video, where we'll talk about which surviving heroes could possibly stand a chance against God Emperor Doom. Thanks for watching.